This is the last Blitzkrieg from MMP Games. It's part of the Battalion combat series. We are playing the full Battle of the Bulge scenario for campaign. And this is the situation at the end of turn 8, the 23rd of December 1944. If we look at what's going on in the southern shoulder of the salient, this is probably where the most critical thing has happened. That the newly arrived 80th Infantry Division from the 3rd Army has successfully crossed the Saar River here with support from a 9th Armoured Combat Command, and they've got a breakthrough here. They've chewed up the 352nd Volksgrenadier unit. They had some lucky rolling, but they crossed the river in force, and this is serious threat to the southern half of the German penetration. Now, luckily, the Germans have got 9th Panzer here, and they also have this Grenadier Panzer Brigade as well, so they should be able to shut that off. The big issue here is the 10th Armoured is not far behind this breakthrough. They could easily reverse direction, head up this road, and expand on this bridgehead. So that's a critical area the Germans are going to have to look at in the next turn. If we go further to the west, the Germans basically reached as far as they can go. The 5th FS Feldjäger parachute division is taken up the beginnings of defensive positions here. The problem is the American 4th Armoured Division, which is a very powerful formation, has moved into this area, and they've successfully reconnected with the units 101st in Bastogne. Now, the 101st in this game, we've bypassed Bastogne because we're not making the sort of historical progress to the west that they did in 1944. We've sort of bypassed that area and not really attacked Bastogne at all. So the fact that now Bastogne is effectively reconnected with the rest of the front means the situation in the south of the Germans is getting critical already. But oddly enough, the Germans have made their biggest breakthroughs here. They've got Volksgrenadier Division, 3 Panzer Divisions, 116th, the Panzerlehr and the 2nd Panzer, all in this area, up against what is still fairly weak Allied units in the centre, so that there's definite room for the Germans to push further west. I don't think they've really got much option of capturing any victory point hexes. They might be able to get Monchamp-Fameux or Rochefort, but even those are looking long shots now. There's a smattering of Allied units coming into this area. There's a British 29th Armoured. There are elements of the US 4th Cavalry, shattered remnants of several combat commands in this area. There's also the southern edge of the 2nd Armoured Division pressing towards trying to cut off this penetration here. If we go a bit further north, the Germans have gradually started moving their SS Panzer divisions away from the northern area there, which was just a dead end, and they've been moving 9th, 1st and 2nd SS into this gap here, where there's still a chance of making some progress here, but there's quite a bit of American resistance in that area. We go right up north, we'll move around because it's hard to see. We look at this area. There was a considerable American pocket developing here, but the Americans have successfully pulled out of that pocket, disengaged from the Germans. It's getting absolutely chaotic in this central area. There's about 4 or 5 divisions all in a very tight area, all being pressed by the Germans on all sides. But the Americans are getting stronger and stronger as time goes on, and the Germans are getting weaker. Now, if you look at the size of this game, you've got to remember in about another 5 days, around the start of January, that there'll be well over 1 million men fighting on this front. So this, I didn't realise quite how big the Battle of the Bulge was and how many units were involved, but it's a colossal battle. And it takes place over quite a large area. You know, you're looking at Germany over there, and then you go down there's Luxembourg, and you've got Belgium over here, and small areas of France down there. So it's not a small battlefield, even on this scale. So if we look on the situation on the northern flank of the salient, the Americans have not really managed to achieve much at the moment. They've got some really bad rolls, but they've had to take a lot of fatigue recoveries. We didn't have to take them, but it was the best thing to do with such bad rolls, was to actually take some recoveries and build and get themselves ready for a serious offensive. Because I think if they push against this northern salient flank, it'll start to give as well as the southern one. The Germans' problem is this, as I said before in the last video, you got this huge bulge, but you need to defend it. You can't just leave the flanks open, because you're going to get crushed if you do. So there are other German units gradually filtering in, but you see about 1 German division per turn arrives on average. But I think all the panzers are here now. I think the rest are just Volksgrenadier stuff coming in. The Americans have still got about 7 divisions to come in, and serious elements of some others down south, which they're here, like the 5th Infantry, but they've only got a fraction of their force on the board at this particular moment. So all in all, Germans could still, there's ground to be made still in the centre. I can't see, there's no chance of making any penetration here now. The 12th SS and Kampfgruppe Piper, they can really just apply pressure on the American forces. There's about 3 or 4 divisions around here. They can tie them down, but the opportunities for breakthrough are here in this area and down there with those panzer divisions. So it's not all over for the Germans yet, but as you would expect, things are getting more and more difficult as time goes on. Okay, that's it for the situation so far.